It's Lisa from Been There, Got Out. I have been waiting for today's interview with therapist, social worker, trauma recovery expert Karen Robinson for months. We were supposed to do this a while ago. And the reason why is because she's going to be talking about the power of community. So, those of you who know us, here she is. Let me see if I can get her on. Know that we are very each other, but we have this weekly legal abuse support group. And I am very proud to say we combine our male and female clients in this support group because we know that abuse is a human issue, not just a gender issue. So thank you so much, Karen, for agreeing to come on. And this went very smoothly getting you on camera.
I'm
And
shocked.
before we even get started, what is the difference between like a coach and a therapist? Because you wear many hats.
Yeah, that's a really wonderful question to start with. So, therapist means I have a master's degree, and if to be a therapist, it can be in clinical social work, it can be in psychology. There's different ways to get a counseling degree. But I have an LCSW, licensed clinical social worker. I've been a therapist for 27 years. The coaching piece, so the reason it's nice to have both hats is because therapists are limited in where they can work. You have to go by the licensing rules of the state you live in, and you have to have all these different licenses. So it could be really expensive to try to serve clients across the country. But as a coach, I can work anywhere. I can work with any client in any state, and with both hats, I can work with any client in any part of the world. So I hope I
Yeah,
answered
well,
that question. If
yeah,
when
I
people have
love that.
both, they've got lots of experience and expertise behind them.
Yeah, yeah, I love it too because we are coaches. We call ourselves high conflict divorce strategists, but we're not geographically limited either, and our clients are also all over the world. So it's nice not to be constrained by where you're located. But anyway, Karen, can you give us a little more information on your background? So you start talking about how you wear many hats, but you also have some mother-daughter thing going.
Sure. So I'll start with the mother-daughter because that's pretty quick.
Yeah.
My daughters are not therapists or coaches, but it was my way of trying to encourage them to be strong women, leaders, to be entrepreneurs. My oldest daughter, she's a senior in college and she's studying publishing. She helps me with editing things, like my
Hmm.
blog posts and books and things like that. My middle daughter, she's still in high school, so she helps me with my design work, like any images and graphics. She's got a great design eye, and she helps me with that. How I picked this track of, I think is what you're asking. I
Yeah.
myself am a complex trauma survivor. I grew up in a household where there was domestic violence, child abuse, there was poverty, there was a lack of quality nutrition, things like that. And then when I ran away from home, I was stalked by a boyfriend. So I have that experience of filing a protective order. I was married two times prior to my healthy marriage, and of course no marriage is perfect.
Hmm.
In both of those marriage there was some sort of power control, emotional abuse issues, and why I ended up leaving. So that's my personal story. My professional story is when I ran away from home, there was a social, or not a social worker, a case manager that was assigned to me. I don't know their educational background. He made allegations against me of being promiscuous, being a terrible child, accused me of doing drugs. None of that was true, but even if it were true, that is not to way to empower or help someone trying to survive trauma.
Hmm.
So that's how I started.
Wow. Okay. Well, so you're amongst friends, and a lot of people have dealt with the stuff that you unfortunately dealt with as well, especially the domestic violence element of it, which covers so much of that too. So the thing that I wanted you to talk about was the power of community, because I feel like there's ways that we can help each other individually, but I was talking about how Chris and I have a support group that meets every Sunday. And I feel like our clients tend to heal faster because of having that community. Can you talk about the power of community and why it's a little bit different than maybe just one-to-one relationships?
Absolutely. Community healing, if you research it, you will find that people heal faster. One of the reasons is the collective wisdom of the group. So when you're working with just a therapist or a coach, you're just getting that one-on-one perspective, which is obviously valuable. But when you're in a group of people with various diverse backgrounds, you're getting everybody's wisdom. It's kind of like that saying, two heads are better than one. Well, three, four, five, six heads are also better than one. So that's why I think it's very powerful.
Yeah. So as you're saying that, I'm thinking about how people also have to be careful about where they get support because in this trauma recovery space, there's a lot of groups, and some of them, unfortunately, I think keep people in a trauma loop and don't make it better. Have you seen things like that? And if so, what are some red flags to know, like, maybe this isn't the best group for me?
It's a great question. I think for myself, I curate my communities. So I pick survivors that are truly invested in their healing journey, right? So we call it naming the trauma, but not claiming it. And we
Okay.
also talk about taking accountability for healing. So if you choose to stay stuck, then you're not actively working on your healing. So we do name our traumas. We do talk about any issues that are going on in our personal life, and then we ask the group for solutions, for support, for ideas, and we really invest heavily on healing modalities.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's what we do too. Like, I know in our community, a lot of people are dealing with family court, which is extremely frustrating. And many people think that it's a broken system, but in our group, we say we don't focus on the broken family court system because there's nothing you can do about it. It is what it is. But we talk about strategies for navigating as efficiently and effectively through that process. So it's also, like you're saying, very resolution driven and focused on trying to lower the amount of conflict as much as possible because all of us are dealing with a very difficult X in a very difficult system.
Right. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's stressful, it's expensive, it's a lot of energy. And if we focus on that piece, we can stay stuck. We've got to look towards the future. Like, what is your dream for when that is finished?
Hmm. Yeah. Even if it's going to take a long time,
Yeah.
and it probably will take a long time, but
Especially if you have children. I know for
yeah,
me, it was 18 plus years of when is this ever going to end?
I know, I know.
Yeah.
We feel you for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. So what are some other approaches, maybe with community or without community, to trauma recovery that tend to be more effective?
Yeah. So I recommend when you are looking for a therapist, if you have a lot of mental health issues going on, I recommend having a therapist that's trauma competent. You don't want just a trauma informed therapist. That just means maybe a class or two. You want someone that's been certified in all the evidence based modalities so they
Hmm.
can offer you different options. So that's for the mental health piece. But when we look at holistic healing, you want to be working on your spiritual healing pillar, your emotional healing pillar, the energetic healing pillar, relational healing pillar. Like, have you decided what would be a healthy relationship for you and what that would look like, right? And then of course the mental health pillar, which can be the therapy. um the reason for the holistic pillars is there's what we call bottom up approaches to healing that you can get from a coach or a mentor. And these are things like learning how to meditate is so important for survivors, journaling, deeper self-care practices like getting in touch with your spirituality, your prayer life, walking out your stress, not just working on the difficult memories of trauma, but really working on what's going to heal it.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about the relationship that people have with a therapist, how there has to be trust and especially, I imagine, rapport. How does
Mhm.
someone know if the person, whether it's a coach or a therapist or whoever, how does somebody know if that's the right fit?
Yeah. I think listening to your intuition is step number one. So if you don't feel like you're being heard, then that's a sign. And it's okay to what we call therapy shop until you get someone that you connect with. And if you're using insurance, that can be a little tricky. And I'm happy for people to reach out to me and I can help you figure out how to do the search in a little more effective way. But intuition is number one. You can have a set of questions for your therapist. So if you're someone that has a lot of complex trauma in your past, you can ask your therapist, what research have you done in trauma healing? What are your certifications? You don't want someone that doesn't immerse themselves in trauma. They may not be effective, but rule number one is are you feeling heard? If you're feeling heard, it
Hmm.
might be okay. Because
Yeah.
support and active listening is huge.
Yeah. I mean, that's an easy, great indicator. And that's not just your intuition, but that sense of comfort.
Yeah, that's exactly
So,
right.
so Karen, can you tell people how to find you?
Yes. I have a few different websites. So the easiest way to find me is healthrivedream.com. That's my main website. I have expanded into a corporation where there's more holistic healing offers now. But I offer healing retreats. I offer healing summits. I do 4 summits a year. And so you're welcome to contact me. I have an assessment to see where you're at on your healing path, and I'll offer suggestions of what might be next steps for you.
Oh
So
my
thank
gosh,
you.
so great. And especially because you have lived through it. So you're part of the Been There, Got Out Club.
Yes, I am.
Well, thank you so much, Karen, for coming on today. And I'm going to be doing a little commercial later to review a couple of the points that you talked about because I learned some things that I didn't know. And that's always really
Oh,
helpful.
that's so nice to hear. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. So thanks. And I'll be seeing you next month because I think I'm coming on your podcast.
Oh, yay. Good. Very good.
All right. Take care. Talk soon.
All right. Take care. Bye bye.